Groups. This is week 2 of our sermon series, Our King and His Kingdom. And last Sunday, we talked about how there's a broader story in the Bible that really, it includes the story of personal redemption, that creation, fall, redemption, eternity. But it's a bigger story, and it's a story that puts Jesus at the center and makes Him the King of the universe because He is. And that's the plan He had from the beginning in the Garden of Eden. And mankind usurped that, Adam and Eve. He kind of started over, if you want to say it like that. That's a quick way to say it, with Abraham, and I'm going to make a nation out of you. And then as the Israelites form, they don't want Jesus to be king or God to be king. They want a king like the nations. And God says, okay, have it and see what you think. See how you like it. And they didn't like it. And then Israel longs for the return, the promise from the prophets that comes from God that says there's a king coming and He's going to restore things. And that's what we've kind of looked at, that story. We began that story. We'll finish it up next week. But in your city groups, here's a couple questions that I would encourage you to talk about this week. First of all, number one is, what's the difference between the story of redemption and the story of rule in the Bible? Talk about that for a little bit. I think for a lot of us, we've grown up really focused on the story of redemption, and we're not getting rid of that one. That's a very important one. But there's something bigger, and over the next few weeks, I hope we kind of grow in understanding the importance of that message. But talk about the difference there. Number two, what are some examples in the Bible of people who did not want to be ruled by God? I already gave you Adam and Eve, so you can't have that one. But maybe some other stories in the Bible, some examples that you could pull up. And then finally, the third question is, if the story of the Bible is a story about Jesus restoring His rule over humanity, how does this change your life today? If it's about Jesus ruling over mankind, how does it change your life? Does it make you think differently about salvation, the Bible, or your relationship with God? If the story of Scripture is just Jesus died so you don't go to hell, how does that live out in my life? Or maybe not in your life, maybe other people's life, as opposed to understanding that Jesus is king and He came to restore a kingdom where He literally is the king of the universe, meaning like all the things that we know and have ever experienced. Does that make a difference? How does that make a difference in your life individually? But then let's begin to ask this question in our life together as a church, as a called out body of believers who are to display what it's like that Jesus is king. Does that make a difference? Let's have a great conversation.